definitely not an alpha woman. I want a feminine woman. We don't talk about feminine women no more because women want to be men. When's the last time we had a conversation about femininity? No, because y'all want to be so masculine. I gotta be masculine because of this. I gotta be masculine because of this. I'm an alpha woman because of this. When are we gonna get back to talking about femininity?
Where y'all stem from?
Women allow men to do this. You get what I'm saying? A man only do what you allow him and make him feel comfortable with doing.
Do you think that's true? What up, guys? Welcome to the Just Curly Things YouTube channel. Today, I am reacting to a new show. I've never actually heard of this show before, but they had like a super viral panel, and I don't know how I didn't see it because it was like 2 months ago, but it's called Modern Women and the Art of Deflection. So today I'm going to be reacting to the Daily Wrap-Up crew. They actually have a really cool set going on, so you guys should subscribe to their channel as well.
I'm gonna start doing a lot of these because someone has to. From a male perspective that's not afraid. And so I'm gonna start doing a lot of these, looking at these videos, giving some comments. But let's tune in.
No, because y'all want to be so masculine. I gotta be masculine because of this. I gotta be masculine because of this. I'm an alpha woman because of this. When are we gonna get back to talking about femininity?
Where y'all stem from?
Women allow men to do this. You get what I'm saying? A man only do what you allow him and make him feel comfortable with doing.
Do you think that's true? What up, guys? Welcome to the Just Curly Things YouTube channel. Today, I am reacting to a new show. I've never actually heard of this show before, but they had like a super viral panel, and I don't know how I didn't see it because it was like 2 months ago, but it's called Modern Women and the Art of Deflection. So today I'm going to be reacting to the Daily Wrap-Up crew. They actually have a really cool set going on, so you guys should subscribe to their channel as well. Pull up the footage, King. Oh, a camo hat. I like the camo hat.
And you want this, you remember you said earlier, you want this in a woman, right? You need to be fit, blah, blah, blah. What do you bring? You fit? You go to the gym?
Yeah, I do go to the gym, actually. I do go to the gym. I provide. I'm a protector. I'm a leader of my household. And I don't. And the woman that I want is definitely not an alpha woman. I want a feminine woman. We don't talk about feminine women no more because women want to be men. When's the last time we had a conversation about femininity? No, because y'all want to be so masculine. I got to be masculine because of this. I got to be masculine because of this. I'm an alpha woman because of this. When are we going to get back to talking about femininity?
Where y'all stem from?
Women. When are women going to get back to talk about femininity?
Where has that stemmed from? Why
I don't care.
This is the thing. Women will always blame our shortcomings on men. Where does it stem from? Our own decisions. Look at guys. I'm a tomboy. I've always been a tomboy. And I'll say it was because of my decision to play sports from a young age. That was what I cared about. And, you know, I could whine and be like, oh, boo-hoo. But it's like, all right, pick your battles in life. Pick your choices. It is what it is. But, you know, you can always improve. And this is the thing we don't talk about. As women, you cannot help where you start. You always start in a certain place in life, but we can always improve. And what I cannot stand is women blaming the men instead of just looking at ourselves and wanting to improve.
Okay, so to be fair, that's not a woman thing. I think a lot of society doesn't know how to cut the bullshit, you know what I'm saying? A lot of society just makes things up that aren't real. It's not really happening. It's not really there, and can't take accountability for their own decisions, right? So they have to blame somebody else. Even people who are accountable sometimes blame other people, to be 100% with you. So it's just a thing. I think women might do it more than men, but men also do it. I wouldn't say women do this. I would say that people do this, and I would say that women do it way more because as the weaker sex physically, not internally or other ways, but physically, obviously we're much stronger than them, right? So being the physical weaker sex, you have to find other ways to survive. It's nature. And so they have other ways to survive, and they're better at those ways than us. It just kind of is what it is, man. So is it a negative trait? Yeah, but is it the end all be all or anything like that? No, I think everybody does it. I think women do it more, but at the same time, if we see it, it doesn't really affect us, right? If I know she's deflecting, then it's kind of a joke because we all know she's deflecting, so it doesn't really matter at the end of the day. Her deflection doesn't work. We all know that women deflect, right? So I feel like men do it too. So I wouldn't just put this on women, honestly.
Life to make a living and support for my family.
And so do
I don't give a
But I think it's because I defend this sometimes. Now, a good amount of marriages are sex. A good amount of marriages.
life to make a living and support for my family.
And so do
I don't give a
women.
about what you had to go through in your life. I need a feminine woman. If you can't be that,
And
then you gotta kick rocks.
Sometimes a woman can talk her out of a relationship. You can talk. We do that.
Yes,
We
but
will talk.
I'm gonna say something, and this might ruffle little feathers. I don't think just being a good man is enough to stay in a relationship with him.
Oh, that was the best edit. Oh, that was. He was gone too soon.
What does she even mean, bro? I gotta figure this out though. Why this keeps doing this? I gotta figure that out. When I press my unmute button, it keeps wilding on me. And then it's pinwheeling. I feel like my internet recently went under a complete overhaul that I wasn't aware of. Because my internet went from probably blazing to working sometimes and doing shit like this. I don't even know what's happening right now. I don't even know what's happening. I'm not sure what's happening. So, let's see. Exit full screen.
Cats and no man because
Maybe that's what
he's
they
a good
like.
he's a good man, but because he's
My
not
internet,
funny,
I apologize
you
for
gotta
that.
throw that out.
It's garbage.
So, get into the first topic. Is being a good man good enough?
I forgot. I apologize for my internet. I have no idea why this is pinwheeling, folks. I have no idea what's going on.
Not being treated right. That's the funny thing. It's the same women that'll say, "Oh, being a good man
Like, I can't even watch the
isn't
clip
enough."
right. Jesus
It's the
Christ.
same women that'll say, "I can't be a good woman," or "I can't be too feminine because I give him all the power and he might have." Da 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 da.
Motions of getting to know him, you're realizing, okay, he's a great person, but honestly, I don't fuck with his humor. Like, he could be funny, but
And
he's
that's
not funny.
and
to
that's
me.
why a lot of modern
Or-
women are getting 40 with 4 cats and no man because
Maybe that's what
he's
they
a
like.
he's a good man, but because he's not
I feel like I'm
funny,
in between a
you
band
gotta
right now.
you gotta throw that out.
So, get into the first topic. Is being a good man good enough for modern women today? I think.
It
a great
depends on
topic.
what's good enough. Like, what are your terms? What are your expectations? Everybody's standard is different. So, I mean, it's like contextual what good is in a man, what certain female might want out of a man.
I personally think I think you're right. It does depend on the person, but when it comes to her, I think she was shying. I really don't. I get where she's coming from, where it's
I think I
like,
fixed
there's more to it, but it's like, what more should there be? If he's a good person, he takes care of you, he provides. Like, what else do you want?
I think everyone has different needs.
So
you
then,
know?
but being with
I feel like she has to figure out what's a good man for her. Like like she says, a good man is not enough, and it's like
I think this is another big problem we have in society today. Everyone wants to figure out what a word means for them when words have general meaning.
You have good
That's
thought. You
extremely
have
true.
very insightful, King. That's so true.
That's very
yeah,
true.
because it's like, what does that mean to you? But it's not like, what does it mean?
It's
It
not.
literally
yeah.
just said, is having a good man good enough? Really and truly, if you understand English, what is subjective about that?
Oh my gosh. Do you know what I just realized? That's what women do when they don't like the answer they have to give. When the answer makes them look bad, they say, well, it depends.
Because really, she wanted to say, well, no, if having a good man is not good enough, but then she might have thought, that might sound weird.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sound
that's
bad,
exactly
might
what
make me look
happens.
somehow. So let's give.
So let's talk about that. Why when that's a good point she made. If women know they're gonna be wrong, they tend not to just say the answer, right? Can't just say the answer because I'm gonna sound bad. So if she says a good man's is not enough, and then they ask her again, she's like, she can't just say nope, a good man's not enough. She has to say well, and she has to explain, and she has to make herself sound better than she sounds, as opposed to just saying it. Now, I think that has to do with the fact that a man doesn't give a like he doesn't care most of the times. Like if you ask him a question, he's gonna give you the answer most of the time. But there are some people pleasing men, some simps who will just tell women whatever they want to hear and then turn around and tell us they didn't mean any of that shit. So there's those guys, right?
Give the long-winded answer.
What is there?
What is enough? Yeah.
Like, what is enough for you? Like what is he doing that's not enough?
If
Right.
you want something, if you don't want a genuine, like, and I'm not saying that you can't get something genuine out of, you know, another type of relationship, but if you don't want to genuinely be straightforward, you want fucking money, you want this, you want that, like, let's keep it a $150. I mean, I don't know. I feel like personally she was just rambling on from saying what she really wanted to.
Yeah, because she mentioned his humor, but do you feel like, you know, women move the goalposts when it comes to, you know, potentially having a successful relationship as far as wanting more? Like she mentioned he's a good man, he does everything, but his humor was the only thing that was lacking. You don't fuck with his humor, and that just...
And that's so super... Like, okay, even... I've dated a funny guy before. There's only so long they'll be funny. You've heard all the jokes after a while. You know what I mean? Like, is that going to be a make or break in a marriage? Funny? I don't know, you know? It's like, you can only be funny for so long.
Fell off from him.
If that's a big thing for her, then she will move the goalpost.
Yeah.
If it's like whatever, then, you know, she's going to override.
Okay, but then the answer is no, it's not enough. I want a guy that's funny. Or no, it's not enough. I want a guy that's this.
Again, it depends on like what she's looking for.
Now he got to be Eddie Murphy.
I want to stay with Juta because Ju did make a good point about women moving the goalposts, right? Because oftentimes on the show we would hear women say, "Where are all the good men? Like there is no good men." So now that y'all found that good man, now it's like, well, he has all of these. He has 98% of what I want, but because he doesn't have that 2%, man, he just not for me. So you were willing to risk that 2% in hopes to find a man this 100.
This is the what's it, 60-40 rule or the 80-20 rule. This falls right onto the 80-20 rule where people can get 80% of what they want, but the 20% to them seems so large that they just drop the 80% for the 20% and then realize, damn, I made a mistake. Shouldn't have did that.
100% man, and realistically, I don't think anybody's gonna find that 100% person that's compatible with you. You know, men or women, like, you know what I mean. So for you to try to keep holding out to find that, and that's what I'm finding what's happening a lot with women is the thing about I'm not gonna settle, like, you know what I mean. Like, I'm gonna keep looking for that unicorn or that guy that's ultra compatible with me, and you're gonna keep getting older and older. And now your options are not even there no more. Like, you know, now that guy that you did find, he may not even want you like that. You get what I'm saying? Because of obviously biology and all these other factors that, you know, these guys that have made enough of themselves as far as, you know, if they are successful and productive in society, they have the options now. Like, you get what I'm saying? So now they have the bulk of options. Now, do you fit in their options? Probably not at that point. Like, you know what I mean? So that moving the goalpost thing that Ju was talking about.
I just feel like everyone thinks they have a problem.
Yeah,
you know,
right.
That is the problem. But who do you think realizes that more, men or women?
Both.
Hell no.
Both.
Men are realistic. You get what I'm saying? I of course we want something in return, but we're willing to compromise. And I don't even want to use.
That's not true. If you don't find her attractive, are you gonna compromise?
No, but that's like.
Yeah, but the bar for it's not the same because the bar for men, like, okay. Women need to compromise on attraction more than men because men it's actually crazy if you start asking guys like, would you, how low they'll go. Now, it might not be on their best day, you know what I mean? But it's actually, I started asking guys this, and it's also kind of crazy. If a girl has like one good body part, guys can overlook so much. Like, there was this girl on the show, this is like a year ago now, this is with my old producer, but I kind of thought this girl was fat, and he's like, oh, I didn't even notice because she had, like, you know, the goods, you know what I mean? But what I realized is, like, guys kind of have like goggles where it's like they can kind of get over certain flaws if they have one thing. Women, it's just not the same. It's like we kind of look for a reason to disqualify a guy. So a guy could have like 5 things that we want, but if he doesn't have the 6th thing, then we disqualify them. So women need to compromise more on looks because we find 80% of men as ugly, where men find like half of women attractive. And honestly, I think it'd be even higher if we weren't so fat. Like, imagine men find half of women attractive, and we're fat. Imagine if we were in shape, okay? So it's like we have to compromise more on attraction because we're the pickier sex. We have higher beauty standards, whether we like it or not.
Besides, I don't. The reason why I think men compromise a lot when it comes to look.
Why do men compromise? Let's hear what my man has to say. Why do men compromise so much for looks? Like seldom women don't, but men do. They compromise for looks a lot. Women just won't. Like they just, on average, women will not compromise for looks. They just won't. So, I mean, if a woman gets of an age where doesn't exactly have a bunch of choices, probably has 2 kids, or something wild. Basically, she's past her prime. Then, you know what I'm saying? She'll accept certain guys that she normally wouldn't. But other than that, she won't, to be completely honest.
Looks is because I think a lot of men understand the fact that once you get with a woman, a lot of the time the looks is gonna change anyways. Because once she's gonna get comfortable, she's probably gonna have kids. So like the look thing, I guess it helps to get in the door, but men are more able to compromise because we understand the realities of life.
You know what? I actually think one thing that men aren't like attracted to work ethic, but I think like even when my brothers were dating, like one thing I like about the girl that my older brother's dating is she works really hard. Because when you think about it, it's like if she's gonna stay in shape for a lifetime, that's hard work. So sometimes like it's hard though, because men aren't like attracted to that the way women are, but it's like a good quality.
So what else is she giving me? Is she a good woman? Is she cooking? Is she cleaning? Is she making me happy? Is she fucking me? All that other stuff? Then I will dial down on 1 to 10 coming home.
It's all about compromise. Relationship is all about compromise. There's no such thing
100%.
as 100% comfortability, 100% like, you feel me? I mean, there is people out there where it's like they find their soulmate, but in reality it's all about compromise. Like there's not going to be absolutely everything that you like about your partner, but if they're just right for you, they're just right for you. If you can't see that, then you know.
You believe in soulmates?
Yeah, 100%.
Really?
I feel like there's 7 billion people in this world.
I do not. Do you believe in soulmates? I do not. I think you just pick, like, I kind of have a weird view on marriage.
Actually, I do believe in soulmates, but I think each person has like thousands of soulmates. That's what I think.
So, like, thousands of people it would work with.
Yeah.
But then I don't think it's a soulmate. I think it's just like, I kind of have
the reason why I think it's a soulmate is because you might have thousands of people that you could compromise with and work with, but in reality, you're probably not going to meet even like 10% of them.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I think there's people you have like chemistry with, like, but I don't know. I just think like when you get married, I have weird views on this, okay? I feel like as a woman, you don't really need to know too much about a guy to get married. I know as a man, you need to know a lot about a woman because you got a lot more to lose. But as a chick, it's like you got to know his like family background. You got to know he's like a good dude. But I don't think men like change all of the sudden after 6 months. I think in the first like 6 months to a year, you kind of know what you're going to get. Women, on the other hand, we can play chameleon. We can pretend to be someone else for like years. I don't know. I have like weird, but you can pull the video back.
No way that you can't find someone.
But you talking about soulmate? That's not
one.
Okay. Out of 7 billion.
I believe like
No, I gotta address this. So what is that about? Like, how come like women can be completely not who they are for years and then all of a sudden turn into somebody completely fucking different? I'm not saying men can't do it, but like she said, women do that all the time, bro. Like they'll just be one person and then 4 years later they're not that person anymore. And then that should be wild. So like how can what's that about? What's that about? I'm not saying men don't do it, but like we said, on average, men and women do it. A lot of the same things, but on average. There's some men out here who wear dresses, but on average, women are wearing dresses, right? So, what's the deal with that? Like, what's that about? That's a really good point that she brought up. Really good question.
Soulmates can be friends.
Oh yeah, actually. But yeah, I don't believe in soulmates because I think you just pick someone and figure it out. That's my opinion.
Like it could be multiple. It's not like just romantic.
Yeah, I know what the probability.
It could be platonic.
You know what the probability.
What do you mean? There's platonic soulmate. We just make shit up as girls.
Those numbers, 7 billion people on this earth, right? You know what the probability of you finding your soulmate?
I'm just speaking I'm not
Slim,
speaking
like,
in literal
that was
terms,
absolutely
but let's just be
nonsense.
100.
Platonic
like, if
soulmate
you
is
are putting
nonsense.
yourself out there.
It's just like people you have chemistry. That's what I think soulmates is just like a different way to say it. People you have chemistry with. That's
You're bound to find somebody that might be right for you. You know, that's just in my opinion, especially if like you're looking in the right. So it's like I understand compromising is part of a relationship, but it's like when it comes to the reason why I didn't get what she was saying is because she was talking about like little aspects that don't really matter. You know, to me, like a deal breaker would be if he's messy or like extremely messy though.
I had I'm gonna read you guys a tweet I saw. This is by a woman who, let me see, this was a wife, believes in biblical submission, all that stuff. Do you expect your husband to help you with chores? If you do, you won't have a happy marriage because expectations destroy relationships. If he helps, great. If not, do your housework cheerfully as unto the Lord. Remember, you didn't marry your husband to help with household chores. You married him to be your protector and provider. You should have married him because you deeply loved him, wanted to be a great helpmate to him, make his life better, not worse, and put the burden upon his shoulder that he already has to carry in providing for his. But, you know, some reaction channels will say, get divorced. I won't say names. Divorce over chores, right? You know, pull the video.
The point where it's like unmanageable or he's like not self-aware. You'll be surprised by how many people are not self-aware. You know, like those are deal breakers for me.
I find that the most not self-aware people are the ones that say everyone else self-aware.
Yeah.
Little things, little attributes like him not being funny. Okay, I'll be funny for the both of us.
Yeah.
Fuck. We'll find.
Yeah.
We'll thug it out.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
What was your thoughts, Scheme?
Like you said, like she looking for like the perfect man, and it's like nobody's perfect. You know what I mean?
She's not perfect.
And that's the true. As women, a lot of times we expect perfection, but we're not perfect. Like, is it fair for a single mother to expect monogamy? I was thinking about this. It's really not a fair trade when you think about it, because the man has to compromise on his mating strategy and raise a kid that's not his. Like, in a way, it's just like reverse cuckoldry. It's just like agreeing to it.
My thoughts on that is, I think if she's with someone and they agree to enter a relationship, obviously she has to expect it. But that being said, I think it should be in a situation like, it should depend on the kind of man she's getting with. So if she's a single mother and she's getting with probably a millionaire, handsome, tall guy, and she's expecting monogamy, I mean, she should expect it in terms of what society dictates, but her actually sitting down to go for that kind of guy and expect monogamy is kind of delusional, though.
I think it's almost delusional to expect it from the average man. She's gonna get it because we live in this society, but I think from like a historical point of view, you weren't monogamous to him by bringing in a child into the relationship that's not yours. You might be monogamous now, but like the idea of marriage is you're supposed to be monogamous for a lifetime. Now, you know, the men will put up with the non-virgins. They're like, whatever, we'll get over this. But now you're bringing in another child. The crazy thing is the men are accepting this.
But that's a very good point you make, because think about it. On the man's side, she's coming with another man's kid, and she expects him to protect that kid.
Yes.
She expects him to provide for that kid.
Right.
Yes.
She expects all of that that kid, but she doesn't want him to get anything on the side.
Yeah, and he doesn't get youth because she's probably not young. He doesn't get purity because, you know, she's pushed out another man's baby.
How did women convince men to agree to stuff like that?
Because we've been telling you guys that we're queens for 50 years and that you guys are like, you know, save a hoe. You can, and that's the crazy thing. It's such an unfair exchange. Like when you think about it, it's like, you know, what's his mating strategy, right? To spread his seed. What's the woman's mating strategy? To get the best possible guy that she can, right? With protection and provisioning. Now, the thing was, back in the day when you brought purity and youth to the table, like it was fair because the guy would stop sleeping around, but he would get purity and youth. So she would say, you know, I'm not going to go chase after the billionaires, the millionaires. I'm not going to try, like, you're a good bet. Hopefully in the future you'll make it. And he said, you know what, okay, I'm not going to screw all these hoes. You know, I'm just going to have sex with you. And that's they're both compromising. But now it's like women, we're not compromising at all.
It's almost like they're saying that work hard and get their ducks in a row, get things in order, don't deserve women unless they are either damaged or used or not at their peak anymore.
Well, how crazy is it that Leonardo DiCaprio or any like top 1% men can't expect a virgin? Like, think about it. Like, all these women on the planet. Now, it's not to say that virgins don't exist, but like, one, even if a guy says, "Okay, I want a virgin," one, where would he meet this virgin? How young would he have to go? And can he even believe that she is? There's no way to even, how does he know?
Okay, so here's how I feel about this. And I don't know if it's because of the era I grew up in or what, but I think, and I'm not saying that it shouldn't be something that you look forward to, but personally, I think finding a woman who is a virgin over the age of 18 is absolutely impossible. I'll say that again. And I'm gonna switch I'm gonna zoom in for this one. Okay. I'm gonna zoom in for this one. It's absolutely impossible to find a virgin woman above 18 in the United States of America. It is damn near impossible. I've yet to find one. I've had a woman tell me she was a virgin when we got together. I don't believe that at all. She was 20. I was 21. I don't believe that at all. At all. But to be completely honest, do we really think, like, is it a bad thing that we can't find virgins? Is it, I guess that's a pretty straightforward answer to that one. Yes, that's a bad thing. It can be a good thing that you have sexual partners. It's like, oh, great. Let's not even focus on that. I'll be completely honest. I don't know if that's terrible that I'm saying that's the fact that you will not find a woman that can keep her legs closed for 18 years straight. I don't know if is that disrespectful or is that just a fact. I don't like back in the day, like she said, like Procep. This was the thing, man. Like, this was the thing. This is what you did. You just, as a woman, like you had a lot of pride in your body, and like she said, like now, like I'm one of those guys. I'm a stepdad. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got a lot of shit going on. I'm a stepdad, and I will say this, that my life has done a complete and dramatic U-turn since I became a stepfather. And also, I've had a child with her as well. I would say this, that I didn't even think I didn't think what it is, if that makes sense. Like, so it is what it is, meaning like all the things that they were saying about, single moms and stuff like that. It is what it is with that. I believe in soulmates because I had no intentions of finding my person. I literally, for lack of a better term, thought all women were trash. I literally, and I know that sounds crazy, but I've been through some stuff with women. I just assumed I don't know how to pick good women, and so I'm done picking them, and I'm done with women. And then she just came out of nowhere. And I think that's honestly the only time that it's real, is when they come out of nowhere. When you're looking for them, it doesn't work out. But my personal opinion is that I guess it is sad, but to think that you can find a female who's a virgin over the age of 18 is you have a better chance of finding a unicorn in your front yard than finding a female who's a virgin over the age of 18. You have a better chance finding a unicorn because women are out here fucking, man, and they're also out here cheating. There are some good ones, but here's the bad part, and somebody said this, like the good ones aren't the good ones aren't like the best. They're not great. They're just better than the trash that's out there. Somebody said that. How do women feel about that one? Oof, that's a rough one. That's a rough one to unpack. So many feelings there. That's a rough one. We gotta get back to Pearl.
It's actually unfortunate. I was thinking about this. I think it makes it harder for virgin women too, because a guy that's got his shit together, one, it's like you might be an anomaly, but there's a million girls ready to sleep with him down the road. Now he's got this system where even if you are a virgin and he marries you, it's like there's no guarantee that you won't do crazy shit after you get married. So that's too much of a concern. And then third of all, well, he doesn't know you're not lying. You could very well be lying.
In my opinion, I even think the whole body count and virginity thing doesn't really have much bearing on relationships as much as the laws. Because I think even if women weren't virgins, if the laws didn't support this, women would behave. Yeah, I just think, that's what I think. I think the laws just create this environment where everything could go to shit, but you'll still be safe.
I don't know. I think body count does affect it. But it's just like,
but if she knew that if she left,
I'm so afraid of body count at this point. I don't even ask it. I'm so afraid of body count at this point. If I was a man dating, I would not ask body count. I expect you to have 50 bodies, and I don't know if that's just the way I think about today's women. And I don't mean all women. I mean today's women, and we're talking about anywhere from. Because you're not a woman till you're over 18. So let's say, I was going to say 20 to 30. And I was like, that's too high. But I don't want to say younger. So let's just say 18 to 30, right? Anybody over 30, I'm not talking to you. 18 to 30. I just don't see anything worth anything out there. I'm sorry. You're going to have to point it out to me. And you're going to have to prove it to me. But most of the times, you're going to point out how Keke Palmer's a great person and how she does this great and she's a great actress and she's her own person. I don't give a shit. Her ass was out, disqualified. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's where we need to get back as men. Like, he shouldn't even have said nothing to her. She should have came home and his shit was gone. He shouldn't have said nothing to her. He shouldn't have said nothing on internet. Should have put their shit in the public. Should have said nothing. But to her directly, yes. So, yeah. So what Pearl is saying and her producer is correct. I agree-ish.
Be no help.
Correct. Right, but my thing is, it's kind of like girls that sleep with over, like, the biggest drop in marital satisfaction is from zero partners or from one partner to two. So it's like you're already dropping to like 50% from 80% to 50, and then after 5 you're like done, and between 5 and like 25 it's basically the same. So guys are kind of like, they're never gonna know anyway. So men really do adapt to the market, because the quality of women you guys get today is so bad compared to 100 years ago. Like, you guys as grandpas and great grandpas would be so disgusted by the level of women that you guys wife.
Never. My grandfather, my father, and all their fathers would never.
You know, and I don't say this to like, people think I say this stuff to shame people, but it's really just an observation. It's not to be mean. It's just like, 85% of women were virgins a year ago. Now we got men marrying women on OnlyFans. Like, that's the level.
Men are marrying women that are on OnlyFans. And it's not even, here's the thing. I don't blame women. I blame y'all. I blame you simps, man, that's out here telling these girls that they can go fuck another dude and then come fuck you next day, and she's getting paid for it on camera. I'm blaming motherfuckers like you. Like, yeah, babe, you can walk around with your nipples out and your ass hanging out. It's fine. I'm cool with it. It's y'all fault. It's y'all simps' fault. It's a bunch of real ones out here. They can't find a real one because these hoes is being hoes, man. And y'all are cool with it. Like, some of y'all dudes are cool with it. Y'all creating hoes. Y'all cool with hoes. Y'all like that they being hoes. And then at the end of the day, y'all gonna go try to wife something and expect it not to be a hoe. I will say this. I know a lot of dudes who perpetuate the hoe cycle always end up with hoes. I perpetuated the hoe cycle. My first baby mom was a hoe. I mean, that's the karma I got, man. And I had 2 daughters by her. 2 daughters by her. God got me good. But with the relationship that just sprung up on me, best situation I've had relationship-wise, and that's who I got my son with. Everything's been great, so,
Even that girl in the last clip, he's like a low body count. A low body count today. What would you say a low body count is today?
10.
Okay,
see?
10 men.
See?
Do you realize that would be like hurrah? Even 50 years ago, they would throw you out. Like nobody would talk to you.
Want you.
These are the level of wives. I'm not saying this to be mean, but just this isn't good. This isn't good for society. Wow, you think 10 is low?
She's not perfect. So how you expecting perfect out of somebody else? You know what I mean? You gotta be willing to work with somebody.
And this is the thing. The women will always flip it on the men and be like, but men aren't perfect. The men know they're not perfect.
We know we're not perfect.
That's the difference. Like if you said, all right, you know, the men, there's more men that are unemployed nowadays. That's true. The men know this. It's like if you said there's a lack of masculinity today. Well, King kind of disagreed a little. But most men, well, I mean, you'd agree that men are more feminine, right? You don't think so?
I think it's more of an adaptation.
Yeah, but because they're raised by single mothers. But you know, you can hear it in guys' voices.
But you see, even those so-called feminine men, if you put them in a group of men and just give them 3 months.
Probably.
Yeah.
But where will they go? This is the problem, is there's no, like...
Because society is choking out all the places where men could...
Yeah.
Congregate and build themselves up.
Yeah, and they call it like toxically masculine, all this shit.
I love that.
Yeah, and so it's
all the toxic
but
men,
that's the thing. I think men know where they fall short. Women do not. Even like that girl earlier, she was super nice. I really liked her. She seemed like sweet. Like I genuinely liked her. But some of these concepts she'd never heard before. She was like, "What do men want?"
I was strict on my beliefs. If I didn't compromise, I would not be in the amazing relationship I am right now. If I didn't compromise. If I wasn't realistic, I wouldn't be in the relationship I am now. I would be like most of these 40-year-old, 50-year-old women by myself waiting for something that's not there, that's not real.
Like we live in a society where we've never even been told what men want.
I think one of the biggest problems in society today, ignorance, and I'm not even trying to be mean or anything, but I just think ignorance amongst women, dissipating information. So I just think a lot of women are happy living in ignorance and they don't want to know the realities. But that has a knock-on effect, because I was watching some video online on Instagram or something where a woman was talking about if she has home invaders, just because she doesn't want people to get hurt, she would rather her man uses his hands instead of using a gun to defend her. It's like, and then they asked her, so what if there are 5 of them and they don't have weapons, but would you rather your man fights them with his hands or he fights them with a gun? She was like, yeah, I'd rather he uses his hands. And they said, what if he gets killed? And she was like, well, just because they're home invaders doesn't mean they're going to kill him. How? Like, oh, I'm sorry. It's just weird, because it's like, how can you be rationalizing invaded your home? So you're trying to rationalize and think in the positive for them.
Like, I mean, we live in La La Land. Like we just think a lot of things that don't make sense. And then they'll be like, Pearl, what about you? Do you think some things that make sense? And they act like I don't know what I'm talking about when I got 1.5 million subs in a year and a half. Like I don't say anything that's true. Now look at, am I still a woman? Do I still say things that don't make sense sometimes? Sure. But you have to understand, women, we're just so easy to propagate. Like you can hear the propaganda just coming out of our mouths that we just spew. Like once you hear it, you can't unhear it. It's like the men are abused. Men are. It's like you hear it in every argument, because that's always the gut go-to every time we disagree with men. You know, when I'm pro-life. Well, what about the grape when the 11-year-old gets graped? What you should obey your husband. Well, what if he's in a
like the woman said in the audio, in the video, if you gonna be single with 4 cats, and she's like, oh, I'm fine with that. So like, if you fine with that, you know what I mean?
Right? Because women don't know the reality. Like they don't think of the reality of singing with 4 cats or sitting with 4 cats. Because right now we have beauty, and when you're young and you're beautiful, you're not actually lonely. You know, how are you going to be lonely as a 20-something-year-old when there's a line of guys wanting to date you, a line of guys willing to help you, a line of men giving you attention all the time? But it goes away And what would your life look like at 50? Your beauty's pretty much gone. And then they'll be like, but J-Lo. Bitch, you're not J-Lo. Like, J-Lo was like a 9, a 10 back in the day. Now she's a 6. If you're a 6, you're a 2, all right? Like we're going to go by, you know? And so one, we use these people in media that aren't us, that are our outcome. You're not going to get married at 50. And like, we don't think about like what life really looks like when you're by yourself that old, because as a young woman, I just think as a young woman, you really can't experience loneliness the same way men do. But we experience it later on if we don't get married.
Be fine with that. That's what you go end up with, because nobody perfect. So if you're searching for that perfect shit,
you know what this reminds me of? You ever heard of that concept of like the husband store?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah,
definitely.
Oh, I've heard this.
You got your perfect husband.
Yeah, like it's like there's a store.
Every level you go to is like a new attribute. You know what I mean? And the women just kept going until there was nothing left, and they ended up with nothing.
Yeah, I think that's very like, because they were saying the guys probably, if there's 7 levels, like the guys are probably set on level 4. Like, you know what I'm saying? Woman will get to level 4. He got everything I want, but let me see what else I got. Yeah. And then let me see what's up. And then 7, there's no men here. And then I was like, damn, like you kept going up. And I think that's what, you know, when we talk about, you know, hypergamy, right? Women are naturally hypergamous, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But when you're constantly keep trying to look for the one up, you know what I mean? As far as the guy, sometimes you get to the point where you have a good situation, but you're I'm not going to settle. It's that mindset. So now you keep going up, and then you end up with nothing. Like,
and I feel like women would use the word settle, and men would use the word compromise when you're looking for a relationship. Once a man is hooked onto a woman, we are willing to compromise and build. You know, where women.
Yeah, that's true. So I have exes that, holy, I'll say this, was not great. Right, I had some exit situations. Let's just say this: I have not had an ex yet that hasn't stalked me on Facebook, Instagram, at least sent me one message. Family still following me, shit like that, just to see what I'm doing, what's going on, because they realized I was such a great guy in every way. Just as a man, sexually, providing, hardworking, intelligent. I've done stuff in my community. I'm known in my community. I have a name for myself. I've accomplished things. So, you know, and that's just the bare minimum that I would say about myself. And so, so when we were getting our little tits or tats, or certain things just wouldn't click, you know, it would go left. But women always double back. When something's super good or amazing, and the guy's amazing, a lot of times women don't realize it the first time around. They realize it the second time around. I've had women realize I was amazing the first time around, but a lot of women didn't realize until I was like, I'm good on you. And then they come back around. So it happens. It happens a lot.
Women, they feel like they settling, and once a woman feel like she's kind of settling, she always got one foot in, one foot out.
Yeah, the relationship's basically over. That's why, I don't know, some guys will argue with women to stay. Like, girls will break up with them, and they'll just, like, argue for the chick to not leave. It's just like, dude, like, she's not... And I know this because, you know, it's like, you have friends, and, you know, friends tell you their side. I mean, who knows? Women exaggerate everything. But it's like, if you're begging her to leave, like, she's gonna go at some point. She's just trying to figure out a better exit plan.
Worrying about or seeing what her other options, exploring her options at all times.
I have a question for what you said when it comes to looking. You don't think men look? Like, they're always, I mean, I hear it all the time.
You think men have backup plans?
Depends on the kind of guy, though.
You think top men have backup plans?
I don't think they have backup plans like that active, but I know they probably can replace. I think they just know that they can replace a woman if she leaves, but I don't think they have like backup plans actively waiting. Because if a man even has like girls that are like in the wing while he has a girl, if the girl leaves, I don't think he's just automatically going to promote some girl. I think he'll rather
side chick.
Yeah, I think he'll probably go and meet another girl and
know?
make her his main.
Okay, you want to know this is the most unpopular opinion that I think I've ever had in my life. I respect side chick. Yes, I do. Now, this is not to confuse me with saying you should be a side chick. This is not to confuse with that's a good idea. This is not even to confuse with I think this is right. But no, nor there's some rumor going around that I was a side chick to a married man. I was not. I'd like to say not. That did not happen. But I think it's because I defend this sometimes. Now, a good amount of marriages are sex. A good amount of marriages, the woman does not respect the man. Now, we don't talk about the women that steal husbands because the woman was a shitty wife. Now, my thing is, if the woman's gotten fat, the woman doesn't respect her husband, and the woman doesn't sleep with her husband, which, let's be honest, that's a large percentage of marriages today. Can you really fault the man for leaving when another woman shows interest? Now, I'm not saying this is good. I'm not saying this is okay. But it's like you kind of respect the game a little bit. It's like if she steals him because the wife wasn't doing her job, it's like, it's kind of like when the intern starts working for free and then replaces the other person. Now, I know this is an unpopular opinion. Now, this does not say I'm saying it's okay or good or you should. But, I kind of respect it. Is that crazy, King? He's shaking his head. I heard that this happens in like third world countries. Like a Western dude will go to like a third world country and the women there are just so great to him that he just like never comes back because he's like, oh my God, these women are cooking for me. They're sleeping with me. Like they're treating me like a king. I've never experienced this. And they just like don't return ever.
A great woman where it's like, it's perfect for them, but they're willing to risk it for something extremely temporary. So I feel like that's backwards.
I can agree with that.
I don't think that's looking to like to upgrade. No, hold on. I'll let you talk. I don't think it's looking to like upgrade or whatever. Like a woman will look to upgrade her situation. A man look for like something temporary and then go back home to his wife.
But you're risking it.
True.
So at the end of the day, it doesn't matter if it's looking to upgrade or if you're looking to risk it.
Nah, it's so different. You know what I was thinking about? I had this crazy tweet. I can't remember what I tweeted, but it was something like cheating doesn't have to be a big deal. Now everybody freaked out and was like, oh, because I said selfish women will divorce over chores, cheating, and like something else. Now, guys, a lot of people misconstrue my view on. I think cheating is wrong. I don't think. However, I think women, we should humble ourselves. In a way, you cheated. You're supposed to be a virgin on your wedding night. Okay, we're not virgins on our wedding night, and yet we're gonna judge men for cheating when we're in a way we're kind of coming into the relationship having cheated. Now maybe you don't view it like that, whatever. So but first of all, I'm like, let's get off of our high horses just for 1 second. Again, cheating is wrong. If a guy's married for 50 years and let's just say for 6 months that man's a player, he's kind of wilding out, sleeps with like 8 women in 6. Now that 6 months is gonna be hell, but in the grand scheme of things, in 50 years, does it have to be a big deal? Now if it's a one-time thing in 50 years, 20 years, 30 years, whatever it is, if you really want to be married. And when you think about it, like how long was that sex really? Like he has sex with her for an hour, 2 hours, one night, but he's with you all the other nights of the month. Like how often can a guy really make time to cheat when you think, I mean, I've heard some stories, some guys make the time, let me tell you, but you guys see my point. It's like, I'm not saying that, I would be so perfect in that situation. I probably would have a very hard time, but I think the goal should be to keep families together. I think the goal should be to work through cheating. And I think the goal should be that, sometimes couples do crazy shit for a while and they work it out and they figure it out. And I don't think we ever hear, because people are embarrassed to talk about, we did, he did cheat for a bit, but then we worked through it and now we're happy on the other side. People used to do that. So now the question is, does cheating have to be a big deal? I don't know. Is this, and I also think women would cheat more than men, even if we took social media out of it. Crazy thing is, women have open dating profiles now. Instagram is the #1 dating app. So women are coming in and saying, oh, he cheated. Okay, so you don't have an open Instagram? Because if you have an open Instagram, anybody can message you. You know that. So it's like, unless you turn your message requests off, anybody can message you. And it's really an open profile of you, right? So you're on the internet, and also accepting attention from other men. I mean, how many times do women go to the gym and flirt with their trainer? They go to the grocery store and flirt with somebody. So it's like, again, I just think if we got off our high horses for a second to see where the men are coming from, it could result in more relationships.
Plus, also, It's funny how women say they want a man that protects them, but then they have an open Instagram. How is a man meant to protect you? You're easily accessible to the rest of the world. He's not going to be with you 247. Who only God knows what you're doing in your DMs when you're not beside him, kind of things you're talking about, the things you're saying about your relationship to other people. Only God knows.
But it's just interesting because women will demonize men for cheating, yet they have open Instagram accounts. And honestly, even if we took Instagram out of it, it's like even good women probably at some point have accepted attention from another guy. And, you know, I'm just calling a spade a spade. Like, okay, the woman was married 50 years and never flirted with anybody. Never. Like, come on. Like, and I'm just being honest here. Never. And that's what I'm saying. It's like, we'll demonize the men for cheating, but accepting attention from other men, we just like skip over.
I even wanted to move the conversation away from the attention part because people will always want to bring excuses. Let's even focus on the protection. With her open Instagram, she's claiming she wants this man to protect her, this and that, this and that. But then you guys go out, and the very first thing you do, the seat is not even warm. You just got to the restaurant, you've just sat down, you've already posted a picture with the location where you guys are.
You bring in some good points, King.
Yeah, because you can extrapolate that idea and put it to the sexual part as well. But I just wanted to put it on a different part so that, because I think once you start talking about the whole infidelity and stuff like that, people's brains switch off. But if you can make the analogy to other more practical things like safety.
Well, I just think it's interesting because I can even show you married women that have been on the show. It's like, we live in a society where it's acceptable for a married woman to have an open Instagram that looks like a dating app that we don't see the husband anywhere.
She's posting cleavage and
correct. Or even in relationships, it's like we expect him to stop sleeping with other women or trying to. We still accept attention from other men. So I don't know. I know everyone's like will lose their mind. It's not the same. It's like whatever.
Looking. It's the same.
I mean, but you looking at it two different.
No, it's the same thing. You're risking it.
It's two different. The reason I didn't say nothing during that whole exchange is because I don't really know how to feel about that. My wife has an open Instagram. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I should care, but I really don't. And I don't know if I don't know. See, I don't know. So you got to ask the guy, right? Like, my wife's not exactly, how do I say this? She's not Kim K, right? Like every guy is not like Kim K. The amount of DMs she probably gets is because also she's like showing her cheeks off and everything. Like, so that's a tricky one. That's a tricky one. They say Instagram is the #1 dating app. That's a tricky one. Should I be watching my girl's Instagram more? I don't know. Maybe so. But should she be watching mine? I see, because that's the thing. Because I'm an 8 on a bad day. So I would consider today a bad day. I would consider right now I'm a 7.5. Right now. I'm just chilling. Ashy spots, no shape up. You know what I'm saying? It's about 7.5. Me, raw 7.5. So, I don't know. Maybe if the guy's a high value guy who, attractive guy, connections, network, all that good stuff. I don't see us locking down a girl's Instagram. Because a guy like me thinks that you're an idiot for cheating. Because if we ever find out, it's not like there'll be another time. You dig what I'm saying? So, I don't know. Plus, like guys like me if we have the options. So does it matter the type of spouse you choose? I think like if your girl got an OnlyFans, Instagram is the last of your worries, right? But if she just be busting it open on Instagram, those are the girls I think y'all need to worry about. I don't even know why y'all entertaining those girls. Let those girls bust it open until they realize they're stupid and they start to put their shit together and act like women. And then give them attention. I mean, like them, do everything. I just think it's really hard for men to stop sleeping with these women, even knowing all the things that we know that we're contributing to. But the best way I could say this Instagram discussion is, I don't police my girl's Instagram. I expect her to police it. I expect her not even to answer messages if they're sent to her. That's just what I expect. I expect respect, so I just don't expect her to do certain things. Now, I will say this. Women have traditionally not respected people's boundaries and shit like that. And I personally think some men getting lost in the sauce with the my girl is different from all other girls bullshit. And I'm definitely guilty of that. But I also think I'm guilty of that because I just think, I truly think you're an idiot for doing certain things to me if you're with me. Because I'm that guy. Like, so a couple of guys are that guys, and if you're that guy, you move on and you realize that, well, she was stupid, right? So it's like, maybe is that a bad viewpoint to have, y'all? I don't know, man. Y'all got to tell me. I don't know if that's bad. Y'all tell me. But I'm just not worried about that because honestly, true story, if someone's going to cheat, they're going to cheat. So it really puts a bigger toll on you trying to wonder what they're doing, where they at, who they texting, who they messaging Instagram. And if you marry somebody who's not stupid like my wife, the amount of searching and setting up and all this shit I would have to do to catch her doing something, if she was doing something, it ain't even worth it. Bro, it's not even worth it. I have so much more time I need to be putting towards shit that matter. You know what I'm saying? If somebody's cheating on you, they were never yours anyway. Plus, we don't own people that never ours anyway. So, it's a different discussion, but
different perspectives.
You're not satisfied enough.
That's not true either.
But you're looking. So if you were, why would you look? That's not true either. But why would you look then? Tell me that.
That's I don't know.
Sometimes sex is just there for men. They're like, it's here. It's not as deep for them.
You can't.
I don't know. I can't explain it to you.
Okay then.
Because it's essentially the same thing. You're just doing it in a different way.
We're human.
Yo, it looks
a man
different,
could be
but it's not.
a man could be satisfied with his situation and still look at something like temporary. I'll get this real quick. Then that has nothing to do with his situation.
Also true. I understand.
But that doesn't mean he's not satisfied though. That's why I say it's two different things.
What is that? You're still risking it. So it's like a woman is risking looking for someone better, and you're still risking.
Yeah, but she will leave her situation.
It's even worse. I feel like it sounds even worse in the way that you're putting it right now.
You will leave your situation in hopes that this man will be better, that you're talking to with no strings attached, and you will hope that this is going to be a better situation. I'm not leaving my situation.
And you would risk, there's men that would risk, let's say 10 plus year relationship for what, a nut? Yeah. Let's be 100% transparent. Yeah. Okay then. Yeah. So.
Yeah, but I don't think they're really thinking that much through when I don't think they're thinking about their 10-year relationship when the woman throws herself at him or whatever, however the opportunity came to be. I think, I don't know. I think when guys get in that mind frame, they're not thinking about too much else. Maybe you correct me wrong, but I don't know. That's my opinion.
Doubles, you can't.
No, they're both wrong. It's no.
I'm not saying they're not.
Yeah.
They're both
wrong, but it's two different perspectives, though.
Yeah, but his point is that they're both doing. They're attempting to do different things.
100%.
He's not looking to lose his situation.
But it still happens. There's men who leave for younger. You know,
niggas get caught.
All the time. No, but you hear it all the time. Men leave for younger. Men leave for this. Or, you feel me, she got a bigger ass, or, men leave for what they feel like is better in their eyes.
I don't think women understand. Women allow men to do this. You get what I'm saying? Huh? A man only do what you allow him and make him feel comfortable with doing.
Huh?
If I'm telling you this.
Do you think that's true? I think that's kind of women.
That's still so beta talk.
Yeah, women trying to control men. I just think that mentality goes back to I think a relationship is doomed if a woman's trying to control a man. I just think it's not a good expectation. So the idea that that's kind of feminist talk. He'll only do what you let him do. Cheaters are gonna cheat. It doesn't matter who it is.
I think that's part of a narrative that's pushed to force women to almost want to take over the relationship, because then they say something like, well, he'll only do what you allow him to do. Then what do you think women are going to do when they hear that. They're gonna
Oh yeah, because controlling.
Yeah.
You can't go out. You can't do this. Like, you know, I have friends. They did like a challenge where they like were having trouble when they were married, and they just said, "This month I'm just gonna be super nice to him." But I find that like if you're just like good to men and like super nice to them, they do more for you in the long run. To be honest, but I don't know. I think cheaters are gonna cheat. You can't go into a relationship trying to control people.
How many times have you realistically been cheated on and stood with the dude?
And I honestly, I can't tell you.
All right, well, let's ask the rest of the world and society of women who stood with a nigga after he cheated on her and smiled in her face, got back in the panties, and then cheated on her again. After a while, it's like normal. It's like regular. You get what I'm saying? Where as far as
so just say you can't control yourself.
No. Don't put words in my mouth.
No, but that's literally what you're insinuating. I'm not putting words in your mouth.
I'm saying you're allowing me to fuck other girls and come fuck you. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, so you can't control yourself.
No. I can control myself.
Clearly not.
Because if certain people that's in that situation want to be in that and like not do that, they can do that.
I just think women like cheaters. I think they like the excitement. I think they like the drama. It's like when women tell their cheating stories, they get so happy. You know what I mean? He's smiling, right? They do. They'll be on the show. They'll be like, "Oh my God, he did this, this, and this," and I'm like, "Why are you smiling?" Like this is, I don't know. I just think women tend to pick men that cheat. I think they kind of like cheated on. Not in the long run, right? But I don't know. I just think, again, why do we keep picking the guys that cheat if we don't like it? It's like what we say versus what we do. I think I'm good on this clip, though, for now. I'm kind of getting sleepy. I might continue this reaction another day when I'm not as tired. This is our last reaction of the day. But let me...
So that was a good one for me. That was a good one. That was a good one. That was a really good one. So, I mean, what do you guys think? I'm probably going to start another reaction, and I'll end this one and then do another reaction. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. Let me know what you guys think in terms of that clip we just saw. Cheaters, what women accept, all that good stuff. Let me know in the comments. Let me know in the comments what y'all think. And I'll be back with another reaction video, man. Love y'all. I'm gone.